Alright, I'm back with a second dark red hair color combination for today. A request from Ladine. And this one is going to be featured on Eva from Kraftin Kimmie Stamps. And she's on Copic X-Press It with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And we'll start with her skin tone again. Same one. Like I said, most of the time this is the one I use because I always know how it's going to turn out. I don't have to worry about messing anything up really. So I'm going to start with my E000 and just get my base coat of color down. And I'm going to have the light source coming in from the left, since that's kind of, her body seems to, the directionality seems to be facing that way a bit. So that's just the way I choose, where I'm choosing her light source to come from. So I'm going to be a little bit heavier on the color on the right hand side over here. I'm leaving a little bit more white to start with over on the left, closer to that light source. And we got a little bit of the neck under there, and that's about it. Okay? So now I've got E00, and that's, I'm going to start laying in shadows. So underneath the hair, her bangs there, are going to be casting a little bit of shadow. Then as it comes around her face on this side, away from the light source, on her nose here. And you're always going to have a little bit of shadow, even on that brighter side, just because as the face wraps around, it's going to get a little bit darker as it's moving away from the eye. E11 is my darkest shadow. And this is just right underneath the hair. Just a little bit of contrast back here. It's going to be down on this side of her face a little bit heavier. On this side of her nose. Okay. Now I'm going to work my way back down to the E00. That's where I'm starting to blend that together. And the E000. Okay. And our cheeks with the R00. And finally the R20. And we can give her nice rosy cheeks on this one. She's been out shoveling snow. Looking fabulous while she does it. There we go. Now blend that all back with the E00 on this side. Hit that nose again. A little bit under here. And the E-triple here. Okay. Now, with this girl, I want to give her a little bit of makeup. So I'm going to give her some smoky eyeshadow with a W1. I'm just going to put that on her eyelid here. And a W3. And then just blend that with the W1 again. Now, another option on these Kraftin Kimmie stamps is, you could add color to the eyes. And let's say I want to give her, let's go BG 96, BG 99. So I have my BG 96 here. And just right around that little iris, you're just adding in a little circle of color, or around her pupil. We're creating the iris, the color. And then with my darker, the BG 99, just kind of right underneath that eyelid, give it a little shadow. And another little trick I like to do on these big eyes, on the Kraftin Kimmies and on the Laugh girls from CC Designs particularly, take my BG 000 and I just kind of hit the corners and down along the bottom of the eye. Kind of rounds out the white of the eye a bit, and then take the colorless blender and just blend that out into white. Okay, so we got our eyes done now. Now we can finally get to the hair, which is what the video is all about, but I thought you might like to see that process too. Okay, so this color combination is going to be a little bit more traditional orangey red hair than the last one, and I'm going to start with the YR04, and just going to start on her bangs here. Okay. A little bit under here. And then on this fun big old updo, I'm going to start up here. And it's going to be heavier on this side away from that light source that we've established. And I'm going to pull up. I'm leaving white, what I know I'm going to want to be the lightest area at the end. So we got hair down here we don't want to miss. Okay. Now the YR18 is next. Going right over top, just not quite as far as the YR04. In that little indent there, indent down here. Okay, now I'm working on her bangs on this side. Okay, now the big old bun. Always trying to still the way the grain of the hair would pull around. She must be wearing one of those. What did I see? Somebody used like a rolled up sock, put it in their hair to create the big old kind of ballerina bun. Thought that was pretty funny. Did the trick though. Okay, so now I'm going to E09. Always just starting right there at the base of the roots and pulling a little bit less than the previous color. Then down here at the end of the bangs, pulling up. Just real, quick little flicks of the pen. We're not worrying about blending this time around. We just want to lay the color down, establish our dark areas and our light areas. I'm getting kind of a skinny line here, you'll be able to see, because that's going to have a lot more light shining on it over on that side. Then my gets whiter and darker on this side of her hair. And finishing it off with that trusty E18 again. We used it in the last hair color combo as well. It's just a nice dark. It's called Copper. And it's just a really great contrast and a lot of different, with these red hair, with red clothing, lots of different things. It's high on my recommendation list when you're building your Copic collection. Most of the E family would probably fall into that, but definitely E18 is a good investment. Okay, now back here on her hair, just little flicking motions. And this one almost just becomes like a little outline over here, because we want it wrapping away from our eye, so you'll have a little bit of that dark even on that lighter side, but very thin. And we get a little heavier handed over here on this side. Can't forget her bangs. Okay. Now we're going to work our way back down. This is where we start blending everything together again. So back to the E09. And this is where we're just going to start right over the E18 and start pulling in towards that white area that we left to begin with. And we're going to start just moving the color in. Flip her around and come from this side. Just so I get a nice control. I'm not going to accidentally go into her face down there. Okay, and then on here, it's kind of a nice little curvy blending. And then it's going to start curving the opposite direction. Up from here. Can't forget the little curls down here. Just blending out some of the E18. Okay. Now I'm going to go with the YR18 again. Not quite starting all the way back, just kind of mid E09, pulling into the white. Same over here. On her big old bun. Pulling down here. Blending down here. Okay. Finishing it off with the YR04. And on this, I'm just going to go right into that middle area and do a nice little round blend. And right across that middle there. Again, if you like super glossy highlights, leave some white showing across those highlighted areas. Otherwise, just take your lightest color and fill that all in. Okay, now on this one, I got to let it dry just a little bit because before I add in my Lowlights, I want to do another little bit of blending with the E18 just to get a little bit smoother blend from that darkest area with the E18. And that's just, you know, this is as you get comfortable with the markers and you know what you can get with them, and you'll be able to tell if you want to go back in and blend some more. Nothing is set in stone until you say it is. Either that or you saturate the paper too much to add anything more. But you do have a lot of playtime that you can get in there and keep messing around with the colors. So just because we blended, went up and blended back down once doesn't mean it has to be done. You can always go back in with another color or two. Okay, so now I'm a lot happier with how that blends out from our lightest into our darkest there. And you could be done with your hair at that point, or you could add in some lowlights with our darkest, our E18. And this one's easy because it gives you a lot of the lines to follow just with the very tip of your brush tip. Light little flicking motion all the way across from that dark area and all the way through the lightest. Quick little, and this is just going to give us the individual strands of hair kind of look, which I like. I'm going to add in a couple extra flicks here. You can add as many or as little as you like. And then I'm going to go across her bangs as well. And there's lots of lines to follow on this image. Takes the guesswork out of it. Same here. And just some quick little flicks down here. I am going to spin her real quick and just come from this direction a couple times on her bangs as well. Okay. So there I've got another dark red hair. Definitely a little bit more orange than the last auburn that I did. But a really pretty kind of orangey red hair there. And I hope you enjoyed watching that. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I can't wait to put her on a card. Thanks for watching. If you have any more suggestions, always throw them out there. I'm always open. I've got a list going, and when I can work them in to the kind of cards that I'm making at the moment, I'll certainly try to get a video in. And have a great day.